There's some things I know about you. Your hair is black and red and full, and your smile's like a child's. I think I'll stay with you a while. With too many nights.
I felt both sad and happy about it. Happy because they are employed, sad because sometimes they are exploited.
Because I have a cousin that works as a Filipino domestic helper in Hong Kong.
In Hong Kong. And well, I know that it's really hard for them living away from their families, but then it's the only way for them to come by and make a living.
With too many nights staring at the time.
It seems to have been, you know, the way of life for a majority of Filipinos already.
Staring at the time when I am you and you are me, and your shape's their vanity.
Sad to say that they are just they're ending working as domestic helpers working abroad, and that's one of the disappointments I had with our Filipino domestic workers abroad.
Most of their women are now into the labor force, so it means that there has to be another person that has to take on the reproductive labor that they're not necessarily.
I call this the transference of oppression. Men work outside in the professions, in industry, and women are expected to do the house chores, taking care of children, the elderly. But even if they are working, they are still expected to perform such roles. So we call this the double burden.
Isang papel, tinapon. Yun nga eh, paglabas ko ng bansa, illegal. Labas ng Pinas is illegal? Alam ko illegal. Kasi, mayroon ako dun position na hindi ko matandaan na tinanong sa akin. Sober ang nakalagay, pero hindi naman ako sober. Pagdating ng Dubai, hanggang Dubai lang yun yung papel na yun. Kasi pagdating ng Dubai, tinatapo na. Sabi ko, can I get my salary? What salary do you expect? The visa is invalid, sabi niya ganun. Hindi na, yung visa mo, wala ng visa, sabi niya.
Domestic sphere is not covered by labor laws. It's an unregulated sphere, so anything can happen within the household.
Ano lang yung ibigay nila sa akin, tsaka kung ano lang yun, araw-araw ganun eh. Yung tinapay lang na yun, yung manipis na tinapay, yun lang. Pag nagluluto sila yun, pwede kong kumain, bibigyan ako.
She was maltreated and severely abused physically and sexually. So she's not allowed to sleep enough, only 4 hours a day, and then she's not allowed to take a bath.
Call it almost subhuman conditions of domestic helpers.
People who are against migration think that the country sends out so many women domestic workers or women migrant workers, and it has become a social cost to the family, meaning to say children are no longer being taken care of by their parents. They grow up without mothers. It leads to the separation of families. Some children become juvenile delinquents and everything. My question is that why is it that the social cost discourse started when women started to migrate abroad? That's, for me, that's quite patriarchal in the sense that it would actually lead to policies banning the deployment of women abroad.
Sobrang yung lagi sila yung laman ng isip ko, pero sabi ko hindi. Minsan kasi madali lang yung trabaho ko. Kaya hindi, kaya ko to. Pero pag nahihirapan ako, lalo na nakakaramdam ako ng gutom, gusto ko na umuwi. Mas mabuti pang kasama ko yung mga kapatid ko. Pero ngayon, target ko sa Taiwan, kumita ng aangat yung buhay namin. Ganun.
To be a domestic worker, especially abroad, is no joke. It's a very, very stressful situation for them, and we have to understand it, and we have to be able to address it in a more long-term solution.
Domestic workers is increasing year to year. In 2011, newly hired overseas Filipino workers reached 100,000 mark for the first time in Philippine history. The ratification of this convention shall significantly boost the government's efforts to engage host countries in bilateral negotiations and reforms in labor laws and policies. Through this convention, we can provide stronger protection, greater support to our migrant domestic workers, like Siti, our kababayan from Mindanao, who was beaten up by her employer in Saudi Arabia. She was sold 11 times to different employers with their passports changing hands.
Hopefully, we'll make countries, especially most countries, I think, to attend to the situation and needs of women domestic workers and women migrant domestic workers.
This is very big help for us and especially for our sector. It could change our lives. It could give us protection. It could also professionalize our work as decent work.
That all states parties should be able to serve. So it's not like it depends on how the Philippines would interpret what is a domestic worker, but it guides you. This convention guides the member states of the ILO on what are the standards that should be accorded to the domestic workers. Still a long way to go. You know, it doesn't correct the thing when you already have a set of policies. You need to do it, and you have to change the mindset of people. You have to change the attitudes of people, apart from changing the policies. Yeah, but the thing is you need to keep on pushing, because otherwise it will die down. People are there to work, you know, so you have to have somebody to remind them, or maybe on your free day or on your free hour, 1 hour or 2 hours, can we do this? And you should start lobbying your own governments to ratify the convention.
There's some things I know about you.